I want to start by asking you, who knows who is this man? Anyone? I'll help you. He's Alexander Graham Bell. Do you know what he's known for? Does it ring the bell with you? Sorry. Exactly. He invented the telephone. And we can say that that was an invention that changed the world, because it enabled for the first time real-time conversation with people that was very far apart. And basically, it eliminated the need for a reading letter or even to travel long distance to talk to another person. So it brings change to the world in two main levels, social and economical. And we can say it brought social changes because now people could talk with their friends and family, also with their lovers, and also share also other important social informations. But it also brought some economical changes because now companies could do business virtually anywhere. And in the history of mankind, when we witness such an invention with great impact, normally it leads the way to new opportunities. For example, Bell's company, the telephone company, gave origin to the big AT&T company. Here in Europe, Ericsson was born, and also Siemens in Germany. So it brought opportunities to existing companies and also for new companies and new type of business. So here's the first lesson. With great inventions come great opportunity. And this is true. Inventions paves the way to other innovations. But the telephone was 150 years ago. Wouldn't it be nice if we could witness such an invention in our days? Well, last November, OpenAI released a bomb. It was GPT. And it was a large language model so good that we can say that it sparked a tech revolution as big as the telephone or the internet itself. And similarly, it brought social and economical changes, because it starts changing, for example, socially, people's behavior. Because now we witness for some time, and people are getting used to use AI. And now they can talk to a machine in a very natural way that was not possible before. And this is changing their communication patterns and also their expectations on how they interact with a machine. And it's also, in consequence, making people smarter because they have access to a new brain and they can do more and better. But it also brought economical changes because we now can be more productive, more efficient, and also facilitate the access to data. Again, with great inventions come great opportunities, as once been told to Spider-Man, something similar. And that's why this new invention, and by new, not that AI is new, but the powerful large language model with all this ability, it's making people ask. And companies are asking us, Ginetas, like, we want to use AI, what can we do, right? And so the question is, how can we leverage on AI? We don't have all the answers yet, but I want to share with you some lessons, some tips that we learned by building some AI prototypes on the past months. Where do we start? Uncle Sam is right. AI is all about data, but it's your data that makes you unique. So first, you need to understand what kind of data do I have. Maybe it's data that your company generates or your users or clients. And then that's the first step. The second step is to use natural language. I couldn't find a better image. And because large language model is all about language, how do we communicate, and the understanding of human language. So those are the two main ingredients, data and natural language. So let's start with data. There are two types of data. There are unstructured data and structured data. So don't get scared by the terms. Unstructured data basically is data that is understandable by humans. So it could be like a document, a web article, a video or audio. And so it's in a natural way form. And structured data normally is the type of data that we see in a database or an Excel file or API. And it's structured because it's in a structured and organized way, and it's easy to integrate with other systems. Then, after knowing what kind of data do we have, we go to the second step. We use natural language. For that, we can use a conversation UI. A conversation UI could be something like a chat interface, like ChatGPT, or it could also be a voice interface, like Siri or Alexa, because then it will allow us to have this conversation, natural conversation with the machine. So let me show you an example that we built for a client, where we put it into practice, these 2 points. This client, they had unstructured data in the form of articles for hiking, and they wanted to build a hiker planner. So we took this unstructured data, these articles, we inserted into a special database called vector database, and then we used the AI to communicate with that data, and we use a conversation UI interface so that lets the user to communicate with this content. So here's how it looks. This project is a hiker planner, and the AI is helping us to plan our hike by asking questions. And you can see that it's using like a casual tone that is following the brand voice and tone, asking things like where we are located, more information about who is going with us, so we could adjust the level, asking questions, for example, about the duration of it. And it's collecting information, so eventually it will suggest us which hikes we can do. And we can see more details, we can continue the conversation, or we can click and then know more about this hike. So we can see that it's very natural, it's a very natural way to interact and then get information from the user. Now, let's imagine that instead of unstructured, we have structured data, for example, in a form of a database containing sales information. And we know the feeling, right, to try to search data and make sense of it. What can we do? Well, we can use AI to search and analyze the data for us. Then we connected it to a conversation UI interface, and we could start asking questions like this. For example, what is this month's sales performance compared with the previous month? And then the AI could reply, this month's sales increased by 7% following the uptrend of the previous month. Right? Imagine having to do this manually. So it's not only searching for it, but also analyzing it and giving some meaning for the data. But it's not just for text. Let's say I ask, show me the average transaction size of this year. Then the AI could reply with a chart or a widget or interactive interface that the user could see and manage the data in different ways. Those are two examples, but what else can we do? Well, we've seen that with unstructured data and a conversation UI, we can create a planner or a wizard like the hiker one. But we could create other things like content Q&A by chatting with our own content. Or we could extract important information from documents or user data. Or we could translate content into a different language or even a different voice and tone. If we have, on the other hand, structured data, we've seen that we could search, analyze, search for insights using AI, or we can do other things like generate content from a structured data into a natural form. Or we can use clustering to group the information or find similar content for example, for recommendations. So there are many possibilities. What have you learned? First, we start with data. So understand what type of data do you have and think about ways that this data could benefit others. And then find ways to use natural language. LLMs is all about understanding the human language, so then find ways to interact and generate natural content. We come a long way since the invention of the telephone, and our world is constantly changing. But it's not just progress. Remember that it's an opportunity to redefine what is possible by adhering to the right process, as Kenji mentioned, and by using the technology to bring people together, as Mila pointed out. So now is the time. Let's shape together, work together to create a brighter future for everyone. Thank you.